if he's saying something to me. Sitting on the limb of a tree, giving me a sound of sweet melody. Saw a bird flew down this morning, as if he's saying something to me. Sitting on the limb of a tree, giving me a sound of sweet melody. I guess he's trying to tell me something that I should know about this new wind, a new wind that's gonna blow. It's a raining of the heathen, coming down on my people, taking the goodness of life and rendering them evil. You see, the little that they gave you was just to deceive you. Don't tell me that you were blind. Don't let the devil fool you. Oh, oh, yeah. Somehow I know things have got to change.
All right. Good night. We're reporting live. Reggae to reggae. Radio like you've never seen it, TV like you've never heard it. This is Hope for Tomorrow Radio. And tonight on our show, we'll be discussing the stats and statistics about deported migrants, how many deported migrants are in the island, a little bit about the Open Arms Center that shelters deported migrants, and also we'll go over a little bit of the business coaching, and we'll tell you a little bit about our music spotlights we got coming on tonight as well. So you guys just sit back and relax, enjoy the show. Got a really interesting one for you up tonight. But as we get started tonight, I want to introduce my co-host as well, Octavia Duhaney, and we'll be going into the Liaison Lounge in the next hour. But just to give her a quick shout out, what's up, Octavia?
Everything good,
Everything good, everything good gravy?
Yeah.
For sure. And you know, it's a beautiful night tonight here in Kingston, Jamaica. We're just hanging out live in the studio. Let's get into some topics that concern deported migrants. Before we indulge a bit really too deep, I wanted to ask Octavia, so what you got planned for tonight for us? What you got in the Liaison Lounge a little bit later for us?
What you gonna do now?
Yeah, what you got? What you gonna do next? Conquer the world?
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's what I plan to do.
Yeah, I love the shades. Great touch.
Thanks.
Yeah, and want to also talk about the shelters for the deported migrants coming back that you have nowhere to go. Just want to let you guys know that, you know, we understand what it's like to be deported, as we told you about in our stories last week. Just to kind of recap and let you know, I'm a deported migrant. I've been in Jamaica now over 10 years. I got deported from West Palm Beach, Florida. I was on probation for selling cocaine, and I had gotten myself a pretty good lawyer, I thought, and we had fought the case. You know, you got your money, you want to avoid jail time because you don't want all the mess. And I got involved with my lawyer, and we had a good relationship, and we thought we had all our bases covered. One base we didn't have covered was the fact that I wasn't a United States citizen, and that would be to my detriment. And because I wasn't a United States citizen, I was eligible to be deported, not knowing that I'd signed a plea agreement already. With that, I had 18 months probation. I avoided jail time, a lengthy jail time, to accept a lengthy probation, because as you know, you're worth more on the streets than you are incarcerated, as the saying goes. And being that I was locked up so long before, I felt like, you know, the old saying goes, I don't want to give any more time to the system. So I had a good lawyer. Yo, let's take probation. And before I took my plea, I remember specifically telling him, hey, I'm not a United States citizen. You sure about me taking this plea agreement I won't be in any trouble? He was like, oh, don't worry about it. Take the plea. We're good to go. So I'm like, all right, we're good to go. I told him I got my green card. I went to high school, elementary school, you name it. I've been here since I was 3 years old. I'm just not a citizen. I just want to make sure that if being me doing this, I'm not going to give myself an extended road. He was like, no, don't worry about it. So I take the plea, only to find out 14 months later into my probation, immigration comes knocking at my door with a warrant for my arrest. Not only that, they came with DEA, FBI,
ATF.
yellow taped off my road, had a helicopter flying over the vicinity. I asked them, I said, I don't know what you heard, but it wasn't Gotti, it's Stevenson. You know what I mean? You look like you guys are coming with the cavalry for somebody else. They were like, this is precaution. They were told something. I don't think the truth was really given to them, but they were prepared for somebody that they heard was violent, and they were coming to take a stand. Obviously, they were misinformed, and when the guy came into my house and arrested me, the agent that was with them, he handed me over to immigration and then said, look like we got the wrong information about you, because we were told that, you know, we were to expect somebody that would be armed, angry, and very dangerous. And I was not either of the three at that point until I was put in cuffs. Then I became very irate because I said, this is, you know, it's unconstitutional in my opinion. Where do you come for a guy? I mean, it's basically being deported, or you have an immigration warrant for me. You come with the feds, yellow tape off my road, helicopter, the whole thing. So I know what it's like going through the harshness and then coming back down here after sitting in immigration for well over a year, 22 months to be exact, and then to be deported back here with just a brown paper bag you have in your hand from jail, landing in Kingston, Jamaica. The only contact I had was a phone number that my mom had given me to call my uncle. But before I got there, the time in the joint was the conditions for anybody that's been in state prison, county jails, federal prisons. We know that the county jails are kind of state prison, you know, it's not really that nice either. Federal prison is actually not that bad. Like, the conditions are better. Not that any prison is good to be in, but if the conditions were better. You go to the immigration detention centers, you're not in a good situation. So I can understand those, you know, deported migrants coming back. Your already experienced being locked up, whether it be a county jail, state prison, or a federal prison. Then you're going into an immigration detention center where the conditions are not that well either. So, you know, I understand where you guys are coming from, male and female. I felt that. I've been there. I've been in the prisons before, and I've been in the immigration detention centers. And Chrome, it's basically, what would you call it? Like a county jail still. You know, between Chrome, this is the ones that I'm at. Some of you may have come from Louisiana, Texas, New York, New Jersey. They have them all over California. Wherever you guys are coming from, Ohio, it could be anywhere. Majority of the time, your immigration facility is basically a county jail that they might have rented from that state or that county to house you guys there. You're supposed to still have certain privileges, but that's not so. But after experiencing that and the harsh conditions of the immigration detention center, and then coming back out here, I was pretty much down on my luck. Was at the airport with my jail bag that I had from being locked up. Called my uncle. Fortunately enough, he was there that he could pick me up, and I had a place of refuge for a time. But you know, that's only for a certain period of time. After that, you know, I was on my own, and I was into the streets, as I spoke about, being homeless, sleeping in my friend's car, you know, basically leaving my clothes at a friend's house, sleeping in a junkyard or a car. And you know, I had it rough. I had it rough, and I had to scrap and fight. So I know what it's like for those of us that aren't in a position to have a roof over your head. Is difficult. And Open Arms provides that, at least provides you some form of shelter where you can, you know, at least get a nice rest, get some food, get yourself together. And because of that, you know, we want to let people know that there is some housing out there. If you don't have any housing, you don't have to bounce around like I did, because I basically bounced around until I got a job where I could put myself together, have a couple of dollars to keep going. You know, when you don't have that, a lot of people are like, well, Rick, where do I go? What do I do? How do I get myself together to where, you know, I can give myself a fighting chance? And I would tell you to go to Open Arms on 16.5 Windward Road. That's Kingston 2. Their phone number is 938-1757. Again, that's 938-1757. And that's Open Arms. And they have a drop-in. It's a drop-in day center for homeless men and women, also deported migrants, because basically a lot of them are also transported there. For those who don't know, sometimes when you're after you've been deported and you've cleared customs and you're going through everything now, and they give you all your particulars and you get out to the front, they may have a transport there waiting. They will tell you that it's a center, where they're going and where it is. Open Arms is the name of it. Open Arms Drop-In Center. And again, it's a drop-in day center for homeless men and women or deported migrants as well. They have residential facilities, including physical and mental health care treatment for up to 90 homeless men. And residents are involved in job training as well, and general programs for education. So while you're there, you'll get some English and math. They also have some training programs in some particular areas. And, you know, we understand what it's like. And we're here to give you the information that'll just get you back on track. That was a bit of my story for our new listeners that are just tuning in now. Just a bit to let you know that we know where you're coming from. We know what it's like. There is help that's out there that we can give you. And we're more than glad enough to share the information, point you in the right direction, help you get the skills and training that you need, that you can upgrade yourself, step out into society, get yourself a job, make yourself valuable again, back to yourself and your community, and basically change your environment. Your skills, your training, the job that you have, the money you make can change your environment and put you in a better situation. So that's a bit of my story. And Octavia, you want to share anything before we go into the business coach?
Well, I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
You did visit that site, Open Arms?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Now, if the situation would have been that you had known about that center, would you have gone there?
I would have, actually. If I known what I know now, as they always say, if I knew what I knew then, what I know now, yeah, I would have started there, actually. Because when I didn't have anywhere to go, you know, that would have been suffice, just knowing that, hey, I can find a roof. Not even so much, you know, I think with the food part, because my family was around the area there, I could go and maybe get a bite to eat, but just the shelter, not really having anywhere to stay. And for some people, not even having a meal, at least they could get one meal or how many,
Right.
you know, so yeah.
Because there's some men that are still there, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, they've been there a good while now. So, I mean, housing isn't really easy.
It isn't.
The cost sometimes is too much, you know, like for what they're offering. Yeah, the cost of housing, you know. So there's a lot of men that are still there. And for females, they did have a hostel for females.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Right. They had the Hibiscus. They're not there anymore. And then Nodam had a hostel for females, and that lasts for like 6 months, but it was under-occupied. You know? So the occupancy was very low, and it was money being spent in that area that wasn't being used, that could have been spent elsewhere. So we had to let that fold. You know, we couldn't utilize that because it was underused. Females, there is, I think, a center. It should be in that homecoming book, coming home guide.
I was looking in here for one for the ladies. They don't have
Very much.
a female center for like how they would for Open Arms, where they're whole housing men
Housing men,
or
right.
strictly women. what they do, there is a night, I think it's a night shelter where they give them a overnight.
I think it's the Atkinson Center.
Yeah, let me find out and give this information to our listeners out there. I'm looking for the female. I know that there's an overnight facility for them, but I'm not sure if it's
We would want to have that information available.
We will give you that information before we get off air. We will give you the information for the females for the overnight area where they're at, where they get. It's not a drop-in center as Open Arms is, so we don't want to give you the wrong information.
Okay.
So when we
Right back.
so we'll take a short break. We'll be right back, and we'll give you some information when we return. Hope for Tomorrow Radio on Reggae to Reggae.
Saw a bird flew down this morning as if he's saying something to me. Sitting on the limb of a tree, giving me a sound of sweet melody.
This is Wendy Lovejoy, www.moneyanswersallnow.com, and we are looking at going into the new year, setting new goals, creating a new vision board, putting new pictures around the house to reflect the things we want from our vision board. But before we do that, it's a great time to look at the goals you set in 2013 for 2014, and then look at how you increase your skill sets, the people you added to your team, the things that you needed to learn, and the things you implemented and didn't implement or put into place, and then readjust. Don't quit, don't give up, stay consistent, be persistent, persevere, do everything it takes to focus on achieving your goals. One of the reasons you want to look at the bigger picture is because no matter what is in your heart, the fact that it's in your heart and you desire to achieve it, there's a lot of people depending on you to make it happen. So whatever decision you make to go forward or to stay still affects a lot more people than just yourself. So I would encourage you, dream a lot bigger, 100 times, 1,000 times bigger than you did this year, because you gotta be willing to go harder, to go bigger, to do things with more aggression, to really go after the things that you say you desire in 2015, because there's a lot more at stake when you dream bigger. So again, I encourage you, reflect on last year, reflect on this year, focus on the future, the vision board that you create. Take your time in creating it. Get the board up, keep adding things, little by little. Don't try to do it all in one day. You want to create a vision board that other people look at and say, whoa, that's amazing. So until then, I encourage you to like me on Facebook so I can help you stay motivated and inspired. Connect with me on my YouTube channel. There's a lot of free tutorials there. You can subscribe and leave a comment. And you can also visit my website and just browse around. But before anything, let's stay connected, because my goal is to help you achieve your goals. With that being said, again, this is Wendy Lovejoy, www.moneyanswersallnow.com. Here's to achieving your goals in 2015. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
So keep it tuned to reggae2reggae.com, and we'll have more for you. Keep it locked.
No one can hold me down. We are gonna fly like eagles, soar like dove. Can't nobody hold me down. Hey, this is your girl Shireen, straight out. I didn't know what you're watching. Reggae to Reggae TV. Keep it locked. And this is the vibes. Stay. One love.
small axe Jesse Royal. You're tuned to Reggae TV. That's the bar. Yeah, this is the small axe Jesse Royal. You're tuned to Reggae TV. That's the bar.
Saw a bird flew down this morning as if he's saying
and it's called Mary Atkins, and it does provide emergency accommodation for men and women. That's at 65 Hanover Street, Kingston. Again, the facility is called Mary Atkins Marie, Marie, M-A-R-I-E, Marie Atkins provides emergency accommodations for men and women at 65 Hanover Street, Kingston. The hostel can also accommodate up to 16 women at a time. Marie Atkins can be contacted at 1-876-922-6936. That's 922-6936. It is an overnight facility for women. As we said, they may not have the facilities like they do with Open Arms, with the training and all that. This is really just a drop-in center at night when you're looking for some shelter and some accommodations. Maybe they might provide a little meal there for you, but it's an overnight facility. These are for the women that don't have any place to stay, deported migrant women. You're looking for somewhere to stay at nighttime. If you're out there and you need somewhere, again, it's Marie Atkins. That's at 65 Hanover Street in Kingston. And the phone number there is 922-6936. And to get into our conversation about our training facilities and just to get you up to date on what we've been doing at the facility with the agency at HFT and Hope for Tomorrow. We're continuing our training at 6 Roden Crescent at the New Testament Church of God. Again, that's 6 Roden Crescent at the New Testament Church of God. Reverend Hardy is the one that pastors the church. And we've been very fortunate to be able to have his facilities to work at. We started there April the 15th. Now we're going into our second to third week of training. And it's been great. I'm learning a lot about customer service. We have a great trainer there. I'm also supervising and I do some of the training, and on Fridays I fill in and train as well. We're right now in the midst of doing a training for customer service because we're going to be doing some phone calls for our agency. And again, it's Hope for Tomorrow, founded by Wendy Lovejoy. So we're going to be doing a lot of training there. We're going to be getting into the customer service field where we learn how to manage a script, where we basically quiz you, train you, teach you, get you up to date and reliable on how to be a better customer service agent. And believe it or not, deported migrants, this one is right up your alley because your accent does help you. So in some cases, people be like, oh, why are you twanging? Why do you talk like that? I know you heard that, Octavia. People like, yeah, why are you twanging? Why do you talk to me like this? Why you can't talk patois? You know, this field is perfect for me. Because it's one, it is, I find it perfect because this is one where your accent is of a beneficial for you. It is beneficial to you to have that accent because you're speaking to people that are overseas in America, Canada, and your accent and speaking clear resounds with them even a bit more better than probably somebody with an accent that they might not understand as clearly. So, you know, in the customer service training, I find that, you know, not only, you know, you learn new words every day. Like we have this part of the class where we study about 10 words a day. Basically, we take 10 words definition home. That's our homework. Get the definition of those words, put them into sentences, and implement them in your vocabulary. So every day you're learning new words because you're going to be speaking with people and to have a good rapport with people. Your vocabulary is necessary. speaking clearly and knowing how to punctuate and enunciate very clearly is very keen as well. They teach you how to speak on your script, what to say, what not to say, what upsets customers. Because I found out that in everyday life, customer service plays a part of it. Everyday life. Just as simple from going to the stall down the street. The little guy down the block has his stall. He sells 2 sweeties, cigarettes, bag juice, or whatever. You go down there and you're like, yo, give me a bag juice and a Malta or whatever you want to drink. And he's jumping around, searching in his cooler for this stuff for you. Gives it to you. He might wipe it off, and hand it to you. That's customer service. That's the best of his ability. That was customer service.
I know it's very much needed in Jamaica.
Yeah, because there is a lot of negative customer service, and I think that at the end of the day, that influences buyers and sellers as well, because there's people that are going to wholesales that are buying to sell back. There are people that are just buying to, for their own personal needs. And if you've ever been into a wholesale for our deported migrants that are coming back, and you are making your shopping order, for instance, you're screaming at the top of your lungs over somebody else through a mesh and grilled up window to get across your order to somebody who's like, huh, what? So it's funny.
On top of your accent.
On top of that, your accent. And then they're looking at you funny like, who is this guy? What is he here trying to do, But I think that Jamaica, in general, customer service is something that's really needed in our country's business, corporations, and any other companies that we may have out there that are basically trying to, get themselves started or situated, or maybe a corporate giant already. Not because they may be successful mean that they have great customer services.
Well, customer service, businesses, it either creates or destroys.
It does.
Because you can have very good service, and just that service will have people to come and say, hey, the pizza might not be that great, but great service.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And for those of you who don't know, customer service is a provisional service provided to a customer before, during, and after purchase. So it doesn't just end, I just bought it. After service, you ever been in a grocery store after you bought, they're putting groceries in the bag. That's a part of customer service.
Did you learn that?
That's right. Yes, we did. So I'm actually regurgitating the knowledge that I've gotten from the course. And I think for our returning migrants, please visit 6 Road and Crescent, New Testament Church of God. That's right off of Bay Farm Road. Please come down there. This is an open invite. Come down there, visit the facility, tune in, get into the classes, register with us, and we'll take it from there, one step at a time. And I'm telling you, it's to your benefit, especially those of us that speak with an accent. It's a job that is right in your range, as they say, it's up your alley, so to speak. And it's something that you can sit back and do. That it's not painstaking. You're not lifting bricks. You're sitting down, communicating with people. It's an opportunity. I looked at it as an opportunity to gain influence in communication, because customer service is basically communication. It revolves around me trying to serve you in the best way that I can. And I would tell people to please incorporate this knowledge into your everyday life. It will help you. I want to get into a little bit of the business coaching, what we had talked about, I think, previously. And Minister Lovejoy has a wonderful layout of business coaching. And her website also is www.moneyanswersallnow.com. And you can Facebook her at Wendy Lovejoy Coaching. She also has a YouTube television. That's Wendy Lovejoy TV. Her phone number is 1-404-573-0027. Again, that's 1-404-573-0027. And as far as her coaching, her business coaching for me, I found it very not only inspiring, but kind of really influential into how I've been handling my business lately, not only with this radio program, but also in school and how I deal with others. I found it that really for the mindset training and business coaching, They go hand in hand, and I think it's something that you guys would really like. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Hope for Tomorrow Radio.
So keep it tuned to reggae2reggae.com, and we have more for you. Keep it locked.
In the name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I and Empress Meninai the Balance. Janine, and you are tuned in to Reggae TV.
Blessed is we that God.
This is the Uprising Roast Band, and I represent for reggae2reggae.com. Boom, shakalaka, boom, boom, boom. Sing, check out, I'm out. Trench down, you keep on rocking. Bang, bang, bidong, bang, 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 trench down, you keep on rocking. Yeah, the Uprising.